This grown man just called me a boy toy.
Yes.
It's a Joe thing.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's his thing.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's his thing. Yeah, that's how
New
you
kid at the lunchroom. Got
boy
it.
toy.
All right. So episode 911 drops A Tribe Called Colonizers, and right out the gate, we get a room that looks a little different. Where is Ish? We've got Joe, Mona. Joe says is coming, and guess what? Surprise, surprise, Mona is late, but we know she hasn't been feeling well lately, so well wishes to her. We got Mark Lamont Hill, Freeze, Parks, and B.Dot is in the room again.
came on you with your shape up, so you feeling a little bit different.
I am feeling rather beautiful.
Shape up is like
I like
for a
them.
nigga,
I like
man.
them shades.
Wait, don't talk over B.Dot. What you say, B.Dot?
I'm saying like shape.
And then Freeze goes on to say when they're all talking over each other and Joe's like, wait, don't talk over B.Dot. Freeze is like, oh, you know how he gets when he got somebody new, play with your new toy. He kind of like does his hand like in a little wave.
It's like
You know how you get when you got somebody new. Play with your toy.
B.Dot is like, I'm a toy.
wow, I'm a toy.
A toy.
And Joe is like, yeah, we forgot how super disrespectful the room gets when new people come in. Is that confirmation that B.Dot is officially part of the JBP? Listen to the clip for yourself.
B.Dot, I didn't tell you this room gets super disrespectful when new people come.
Man.
We do.
They blame it on me, but this room gets foul with new people.
Now, on the surface, we know that's just Joe Budden Podcast performative behavior. New person in the room, everybody's getting roasted right out the gate. But here is where it gets interesting. Freeze didn't just say guest. He didn't say new person. He said Joe Budden's toy. And if you remember when Mark Lamont Hill joined, they had the same attitude. And if you've watched this podcast evolve over the years, that joke actually fits this pattern.
You got some nerve. That's
a boy toy.
Mark. Your special treatment's over.
Now, I suspect that quote unquote special treatment for Mark Lamont Hill has been over for a minute. It was Mona Don't Call Me White Girl's turn. We kind of see that's fading in and out a little bit. But the interesting part is going to be how everyone starts reacting to it and playing with each other. We all know Joe Budden has a history of doing this. Think about the timeline. Originally, it was Joe, Rory, and Maul. We know that era ended. And then we get Freeze and Ish joining in. And then not long after that, Queenzflip shows up, Melissa Ford. Then Joe started bringing in Mark Lamont Hill more frequently. And lo and behold, look who is a castmate. Then Mona Don't Call Me White Girl. And now suddenly B.Dot is in the room. Again and again and again, if there's one thing Joe Budden loves, it is new energy in the room. Change it up, change the pace, add new perspectives, new debates, new friction. So when Freeze jokes that B.Dot is Joe Budden's new toy, I don't think that line came out of nowhere. Sometimes the room says things half joking, but also half observing, and sometimes even feeling away. Is Freeze feeling threatened like he might get replaced? The one thing that we know from past conversations and interactions on pods is B.Dot is not the type of person that is going to quietly just sit in the room. And we have seen this before with how he takes a joke. If you remember the situation with Mano, they actually talked about it on the pod. B.Dot has a very specific sense of humor and he meets jokes with sarcasm. At least he did in this instance. And sometimes that sarcasm can come off a little sharp. There's even a moment where Joe and Ish discussed it.
Right? His sarcasm was a little much. Mano asked him, he said, yo, you only gave really one bad review about a song, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, yo, I mean, you could have kind of kept it to yourself. And Homeboy's like, nah, could have kept that bum-ass song to yourself. You're being disrespectful. Like the sarcasm.
Or I'm playing with my man.
Ish basically said his sarcasm can come off disrespectful depending on how it was delivered and obviously intention. And that is going to be interesting to see how it plays out on the JBP because we know some of them can't always take a joke very well. And you can see how that kind of humor in this room can start to cause some friction. Just what I was saying in the other video, Joe isn't telling stories as much and it's kind of feeling a little bit dull. I think this might be the dynamic and the spice that could actually get interesting on the JBP. We already know the room thrives on conflict and debate. We know Joe Budden loves it. They love being performative. Queenzflip, where's he at? Because you already know he's going to jump in and escalate it. Ish, Mr. Library himself, stands on his points. Mark Lamont Hill comes in with the intellectual angle and the quick jabs. And Mona, Don't Call Me White Girl, brings in a completely different perspective with her quick jokes. So imagine adding B.Dot sarcasm into that mix. Ooh, it's going to be a lot of bobbing and weaving up there. And you can already see where some of those conversations could go left real fast with how B.Dot just pointed at Freeze and is like, a toy? Oh, for real? That might be exactly why Joe Budden keeps bringing him around. Not to mention, he also brings something very different to that room. He comes from a world of music, journalism, and interviews. So he's used to actually studying the music, the artists, different genres, and being able to give a broader perspective across all different styles and eras. And it also means he's comfortable giving honest critiques, even when he personally likes the artist. And he has spent years sitting down with rappers and hearing the stories behind projects. We heard him back on the pod in April 2025, I believe, when he was discussing his relationship with Elliot and where he's at in his career now. So this might really be beneficial to the JBP. So I believe he can add a lot of context to the conversations they have about music on the pod. Like when they had the one about different R&B songs on, I believe it was the last Patreon, and they all had different takes and what's classics and what was a skip. Now, what I don't think will work is the mix of personalities when it comes to who he is paired with. Because like I said, I can see a lot of clashes happening. I can see people taking things personal. One thing about the Joe Budden podcast is it seems like you have to have thick skin to work up there and be around all of them, and especially know how to take a joke. So time will tell with B.Dot if he is able to do that and how he fits in and who he fits in with. So here's the question for y'all. Do you think B.Dot is just stopping by, or are we watching the early stages of another Joe Budden cast expansion? We've seen this move before. Someone appears once, he appears twice. We saw it with Mona, we saw it with Mark. Now all of a sudden, they're part of the rotation. We are even seeing them rotate midway through the pods and through different topics. Now, listen, as far as Freeze goes, he might have been joking when he said Joe's new toy, but sometimes the best jokes in that room are really just observations with a punchline attached, like I said. And Freeze, if he can dish it, he better be ready to take it. So, Chatterboxx fam, I asked y'all before, do you think B.Dot is just a guest? Or do you think Joe Budden might actually be testing him out for a bigger role on the podcast, maybe even a different show? And if B.Dot actually did join the rotation full time, who do you think he would clash with the most in the room? And who do you think he would pair best with? Because for me personally, I already see a few debates that could get real spicy. And I can see a few clashes coming. But hold up, not so fast, because it looks like we may have confirmation. Just as I was about to post this video, this popped up. Take a listen.
Yo, am I early?
Peace.
It's like first day of school, man.
You arrived early. Good to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Brother.
Good to meet
see
you.
What's going on, B.Dot?
Everything good.
How you feeling?
Can't complain.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
You need a water or anything?
Water be good.
ABP, they feed you well. Look at that.
Drop your thoughts in the comments and make sure you like, share, and subscribe on your preferred social. Let me know what you think. And as always, let's talk about it in the comments.